All right, it says we're live. So let's see. Let me see if it's popping up on here. I hope it works out. I guess they'll get the notification on YouTube. I try to be good with this, but it's a little. Let's see if it's popping up. Okay, it's on there now.
Oh, great.
Okay. So, hello everybody. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I am with the beautiful Miss Elisa here, who has been into reflexology, I believe she said since 2008. Is that correct, Elisa?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, we're going to have a nice, lively discussion about how we can use that to, add to our holistic routine of things that make it easier for us, because we know that, with the conventional way here, it can be a little difficult to keep up
Yes.
with everything with our health. So Lisa, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Okay. I am Celisa Harmon, founder of Living Essence Studio. And I love reflexology. I also use essential oils, flower essences, and acupressure points is my newest. Well, the newest is ear seeds. So I love things that can help. Um, and it doesn't take a lot of money or
Mhm.
anything like that. So, yes. Mhm.
Okay. Nice. Wow. You said acupuncture too.
Acupressure.
Or acupressure. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a difference.
Mhm.
And saying hello to Denise Burke. Hi, Denise. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Denise.
So yeah. Um wow. So and then did I hear you mention like oils and things?
Yes, essential
Okay.
oils. I love essential oils. Yes.
Oh, me too.
Mhm.
And so you use those with along with the reflexology?
Yes. Either
Okay.
it's deep breathing, like before I start the session, or I may
Okay.
have it diffusing, whatever the client wishes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So can I ask what made you interested in reflexology? How
Oh,
did you get into it?
yes. Well, I have a story behind it.
Okay.
So I believe that I was divinely guided into this. When I was a little girl, about 5 years old, I have a sister 2 years older than me. My dad always loved for us to rub his feet with lotion.
Okay.
And I didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it. And we fight and say, I'm not doing his feet. And she say, I'm not doing his feet either. Nevertheless, we both wound up lotioning his feet.
Okay.
Then later on in life, my mom developed diabetes.
Okay.
So I have a sibling 2 years older, sibling 2 years younger. I was
Mhm.
kind of the one to be her little caretaker of
Okay.
her and her feet.
Mhm.
As you know, that diabetics have to take care of their feet, particular care of their feet.
Mhm.
So I started getting into essential oils. So I had ordered all these essential oils that were wonderful. And one of the young ladies, she was like a mentor to me. She has a boutique, an amazing, thriving boutique, still to this day. And this was years ago. I said, "Oh, I'm going to surprise her," because she was like, "You ever meet those people that are like ahead of their time? They're doing stuff before you even heard of it, you know."
Right.
So she's one of those people. So I went out. I said, "Oh, I'm going to surprise her and rub her feet with these
Oh.
oils," and because they were considered, some people say therapeutic grade, high level essential oils. So I went out there. It was the end of the day. And as I was rubbing her feet with my oil, she said, "You should be a reflexologist." And I
Oh.
said, "A reflex who?" She said, "A reflexologist." So I said, "Okay." And I looked into it.
Mhm.
My mom was having health challenges. So I
Mhm.
found a reflexologist here in Cleveland to do her feet.
Oh,
And so
good.
I said, oh, when I get some money, I'm gonna be a reflexologist. And then
Okay.
I was getting treatments. Now this was way back, like early 2000s.
Right.
And so then later on in life, my mom had to go to a rehab to walk, to
Okay.
balance. And she slipped into a diabetic coma while there.
Oh,
And so my mother loved to be doted on and touched and
yeah.
scout, scratch,
Mhm.
things
Mhm.
like that. And there again, I was the one to do that growing up for her. So I
Okay.
remember I said, yeah, so while she was in that state,
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm going to do everything that I know she loved.
Yeah.
So I started putting essential oils on her scalp and massage.
Mhm.
I had healing music back then. What was it?
Mhm.
Steve Chaplin, just different people. But at the time, I don't even think I knew about YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, but so I would have the music at the side of her bed, playing because I understood that the ears were the last to go. That's what they.
Okay.
So I was doing that, and I would do her feet all while in that state.
Okay.
And at the time, I had never heard of empath back then.
Yeah.
But I think I was an empath because I was always and still am very sensitive to people's situation. I don't even have to know them, like sad about if something's happening, just feel for people. And it was never like a joy for me to be like that because
Mhm.
it almost looked like you're being phony if you're crying about something and nobody
Yes.
else is crying about it,
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Mhm.
anyway, um, as I look back, I think I was that all along. I didn't know what was going on, but um, anyway, I was working on her, and she stayed in that state for 6 months.
Okay.
The day after Thanksgiving, 2005, till April 29th, just had her 17th anniversary that she's been gone, April
Okay.
29th. And I remember thinking, because I know she was going to go, and I remember thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I never had anybody real close to me go, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And so you're not going to believe this, July,
Yeah.
but I tell you, the creator,
Yeah.
the God of just everything, worked things out
Yeah.
for me. All that pouring out I thought I was doing for her,
Yeah.
I really believe it was for me.
Aw.
It was for me because I'm a giver by nature.
Mhm.
And I remember I worked with a lady and her dad had passed and they weren't on good terms. But I
Okay.
remember how she cried all the time when a particular song came on. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And I felt so bad for her. Her face would turn be red, like she was really
Mhm.
just, and I said, I hope I don't grieve, like, please, God. So anyway, he
Yeah.
put it on my heart to work on her like that, to touch
Oh.
my mom, to, you know what I mean, to be in her
Yeah.
scalp, to just bring her joy. Even though she couldn't tell me, I knew how she loved that.
Mhm.
So that's what I was doing for 6 months.
Mhm.
6 months doing that. And I tell you, I don't regret it one day.
Mhm.
Sometimes you think you're doing something for someone else, but
Yeah.
you're really doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
I pity selfish people.
Yeah.
I pity them.
Mhm.
You're afraid to give something. So I was just putting into myself.
Yeah.
I didn't know it.
Yeah.
I
No.
didn't know it. So, um, so anyway, it was just a joy to do that. And I love helping people like that. And during that experience, one thing I can really, really share, sometimes we sleep on music.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about reflex, but music is a
No.
huge part of my practice.
Okay.
Anybody that would come to see me, music is there, some kind of music, healing music.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are listening, if you're having challenges with headaches or your kidneys or digestion, there's music for that. There's
Yeah.
frequencies that can help you with on your healing journey. So I challenge, you can go right on YouTube and check it out. Um, More recently, I was at an event Sunday and I was talking to a lady there, and she was
Mhm.
sharing with me her concern for her autistic son.
Okay.
And so I was sharing with her some, things that she could probably, do for herself and maybe even for her son. So, of
Yeah.
course, I mentioned music. And,
Mhm.
you know, she told me her son loves the old time gospel music. That
Oh,
does something for his soul.
yeah.
Yes, she said he loves gospel music. And she was mentioning some names. It's like, oh my goodness, I ain't heard that in a year.
Yeah.
But she said he just loves that. And so even though I mentioned frequency, and I know that all music have some sort of frequency, so whatever speaks to you is
Yeah.
what I'm going to say. But if you really want to get into specifics, go to YouTube and look for something about your ailments and just rest in that.
Ah,
And yes, yep. So she shared with, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And she said because his grandfather used to go around singing that, and that
mm,
song that really I mean, those are songs, those type of songs, those old songs
yeah.
really resonated with him. Um,
Wow.
yep. So your question was, how did I get involved? I think I was just divinely led, and I forgot to mention when I was 18 years old,
Okay.
I worked for a group of podiatrists.
Yeah.
Yes, yep. That was like my first real job out
Okay.
of high school. Hmm.
So that led you naturally into it, pretty
Yes,
much.
and I didn't know that either. So I was just
Yeah.
divinely led, into
Oh, God.
the whole thing. Yes,
Oh, what a beautiful story.
yes, yep.
Wow. It's so refreshing to hear. I
Hmm.
am sorry about your mom.
Hmm.
I got emotional listening to it.
Hmm. Well, she's smiling. She's like my angel. I'm thinking like
Yes.
she was like my biggest cheerleader. So I know she's cheering me on now. So,
Yes.
mhm.
Oh my gosh. That is so beautiful, Salisa.
Yes. Yep.
Uh, I have a story similar, but yeah. And I just want to acknowledge everybody. Hi, Kimmy Hammond. Thank you for joining us. And Denise Burke, she said, I need the music for all of the above.
Yes.
Yes, that would be really great. Maybe I can put some links in the description of this video once it's all said and done.
Yes.
Because I never even thought about that to go along with the reflexology. And you're right. Music is very healing as well.
It's very healing. Like when they fill out the form and they come in, and if they're stressed or whatever, I
Yeah.
know exactly what to put on. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To deal with that, and to get further into this, like there's sound healing concerts and just different things, but I've always loved that, and it's right there in my practice. And my mom was that
Okay.
person that was experiencing that at that time. Hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember when I was first learning about being an empath too. It is. It's something that just resonates with who you already are.
Yeah.
Most people start to be able to, when they hear some of the things that constitute what, makes up an empath, it's like, oh, wow, I've been experiencing that all my life. And it's so clear that with you and with your mom and how you knew to give her like the scalp massage and
Hmm.
do the things for her that you were feeling into her, and that's just so beautiful.
Hmm.
But Lisa, I want to ask you, like, what are some of the things that people come to you for with reflexology, like some of the ailments or whatever? What are some of the problems that they're having when they're coming for
But,
reflex?
a lot of people suffer from pain, some
Okay,
kind of pain, physical pain.
okay,
And I do have the awareness that a lot of most of our problems, health challenges, has its roots in emotion, some kind of emotion. And but pain is a number one. thing
Mhm.
is what I can really point out. Yeah.
Wow. And so is that something that you've been able to make a connection with them? Are you sort of almost like their therapist as well, realizing that they're having some emotional problems in addition to the pain?
Do you know? Yes.
Hmm.
And from that, you're like my first person that I'm making this out publicly,
Okay.
that because I believe I'm an empath, or I care about people at that level,
Mhm.
and I do know that there's things that can help them. Um, I also use red light therapy. I don't know if you,
Oh,
okay,
I've
because
heard of it. I heard, but I don't know what it is.
okay, so I have my little red light right back here, but
Oh,
red light is good for so many things.
okay.
Red light, and actually, when I'm doing reflexology, I may put it on their feet.
Hmm.
Just shine it on their feet if they're
Yeah.
having. It's good for pain. Red light
Mhm.
therapy is. It's good for skin issues.
Okay.
It's good for just a lot of different things depending on that light and its wavelength or frequency.
Oh,
So one of the things for people in pain, um, there's gonna be an amazing event coming up real soon.
oh, tell us about it.
Well, it's going to deal with red light.
Okay.
It's going to deal with some adaptogens and things that's going
Oh,
to help people, also with their pain, because sometimes people may just be real stressed
yeah.
in their body. And that's another big issue as well, pain
Hmm.
and stress, or anxiety.
Hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, the event is going to be focused on those type of things, because my purpose is to show people simple, easy techniques that's not real costly, but just enough so they can go home and get, um, be better on their wellness journey.
Nice.
Yes, yep. So they're going to experience some light therapy. They're going
Hmm.
to experience some nice shot drinks that can help them.
Okay.
Yes. Another thing I love is mocktails and concoctions. Like,
Okay.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
making powerful drinks with my.
Nice. So I I can just imagine that a lot of them walk in or walk out feeling so much better than they came,
Mhm.
when they get a chance to experience the red light therapy and the music in addition to the reflexology. Like, wow, just the picture that you're painting right now is so it just I can just imagine how wonderful they must feel after a session with you, and especially after a few sessions.
Yes. Yeah. Everything I want to bring into the storehouse, because I want the best,
Yeah.
for them. And
And you mentioned the little drink concoctions. Now, is that something? Are those products that you provide in addition to your services?
do you know, years ago, even before my mom became ill, I
Mhm.
used to deal with some essential oils that you can put in your drinks and things like
Okay.
that. Most you cannot, even
Wow.
to this day, but there's some that you can. And
Okay.
so I would make things like, almond milk with a couple of drops of orange essential
Mm.
oil with a
Mm.
toothpick swig of cinnamon.
Mm.
Okay. And he gave it that really nice, the orange and a little cinnamon with the
Yeah.
almond. Um, I could also do that with yogurt. Same thing, put some little
Mm.
citrus or lemon,
Mhm.
to boost its flavor. Um,
Oh, that sounds good.
yes. Uh,
Yeah.
yep.
Uh,
I used to do that at a beauty salon,
did
and
you?
people loved it.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they did. Because
hmm
it's funny, like beauty salons and barber shops, they love for people to come in with all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I'm sure it helped them too during while they were receiving their services or waiting for their services.
Yes.
So that's beautiful.
Yes.
Wow. So I have to ask you, I'm just so delighted with these things that you're telling me right now. Like, wow, you're amazing me.
Thank
Um, as an empath, what are some of the things that you've experienced when you are like servicing people? Can you tell when you're kind of like feeling their emotions, or even maybe some of their, do you ever sometimes pick up on some of their physical? Is it easy for you to tell, well, where they're hurting and things of that nature?
Um, Sometimes, like when I was speaking with this person on Sunday, I was not like working on her feet. I was more working on her hands, but
Okay.
I did feel a real sadness,
Mm,
and that made me sad. Like,
yeah.
what can I say or what can I do? What can I leave her with? And
Hmm.
that was my thought about it. And
Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
I experience that sometimes too. And I have to say, the first time that I noticed that I couldn't control the fact that I feel for other people was when someone was telling me the story of, you know, there was like a really bad situation where I think a man's fiance and his mom were taken away from him, and just listening to the story, I just was overwhelmed with all of these feelings. And I realized at that point, I said, wow, I have this uncontrollable, strong sense of empathy. I
Mm-hmm.
started looking it up, and I realized, what an empath was. And I think that a lot of people don't know that when they're in fields like what you're doing and some of the things that I do, it's because we have this compassion for people.
Mm-hmm.
And we can, we just like, our empathy is just a little bit stronger, and in some cases a lot stronger than
Mm-hmm.
the average person.
Yes.
So um and it does make you sometimes feel the other person's sadness.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times the way I know is because if I was fine until I was in their presence,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's something that doesn't linger, and I'm like, oh, that was actually me feeling,
Mm-hmm.
absorbing what they're feeling. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
Ariel. Ariel Prince said hello.
Hey, Ariel.
So, have you ever noticed sometimes when you're working with people that you have a certain type of either emotion or anything, or a discomfort, and then like once you're done working with them, you feel back to normal?
Yes, well, and this when I very first noticed it, I wasn't working on someone.
Okay.
Someone was actually in my car, and I volunteered to take them somewhere, like a 40-minute drive we were
Okay.
going. And I felt a certain heaviness.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And
Mhm.
I didn't know it. And I kind of knew this lady, but I really didn't. She lived kind of around me. It was a far way. So I said, you know what? I'll take her. Well, I didn't know what was going on. And I didn't really relay it to her, but I
Mhm.
knew something came over me that was
Yeah.
brought me down.
Okay.
And months later, I saw this person at a market,
Yeah.
and they told me how they suffer from deep depression, suicidal
Mhm.
type.
Oh.
And and I was like, and I know she was, but I was shocked because
Yeah.
that's probably what had jumped off on me. And
Yep.
I didn't know it because I didn't know anything about that much.
Yeah.
But I just know when she was in my car, I felt this, and she was nice. But
Yeah.
I know I felt a real strong pull, real
Yeah.
negative pull. And she told me about, but this was months later, and I put that feeling together. But what I did say, I wasn't going to have anybody in my car anymore
Mhm.
because I knew it was something, but and I felt real. So anyway,
Mhm.
um, I've had a lot of experiences where I've felt something, and it could be people crying, upset because they lost a loved one. I may not know the person, but because all these people around me are upset, I'm upset too.
Mhm.
Just as upset as they are, and in some cases more. And it's like, so that
Mhm.
always put me um, at an unease situation because,
Mhm.
you know, I
Yeah.
don't know why I was feeling that way at that level. Um, it was a lady, I really didn't know her. I worked with her, and
Mhm.
she went into the hospital and didn't come back out. She died. You know, she made a
Oh.
transition, and they asked
Oh.
for everybody to come out and let's pray. And this was some
Okay.
years ago, and so we did. But I was stricken with grief.
Of course.
And so the girl that used to sit next to me, the lady said, she said, "Salisa, did you know her?" Because she know
Mhm.
I didn't.
Yeah.
She was kind of new, and I was
Oh.
like crying. I said, "No, like no, I didn't know her," and I
Mhm.
felt silly because I didn't know her, but I had a hard time with it.
Right. Yeah. It's that it's one of those things that's hard to explain, but like so many people can relate, and I feel like this is a very good discussion for a lot of people who may not even realize that
Mm-hmm.
they have these things happening and they never really could explain them, or may not even have been able to identify with it until now, for
Mm-hmm.
someone else to kind of explain, because we all absorb each other's energy in some way, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And
Yeah.
we know that just from, the homes that we've grown up in.
Mm-hmm.
And also too, just if you go into someone else's home, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times you can tell when the energy is heavy, or if the energy is light,
Mm-hmm.
and we pick up on that. That's just who we are as humans. So, but I think that it just perfectly goes hand in hand with what you do,
Mm-hmm.
with reflexology. Do you have any stories that you can share with us in terms of like, um, what were some of your success stories, or maybe some of the most strange things that people have come to you for with
Mm-hmm.
reflexology?
Yes, there was. I used to work on this lady. I actually would go to her house, and this was years ago, almost when I first started.
Okay.
And she referred me to her mother in law.
Okay.
And her mother in law couldn't really walk. She wasn't. But I worked on that. I worked on her, and sometimes I even go work on the legs. And I
Okay.
worked on her legs because I knew what was going on with her as far
Okay.
as her not being able to walk. And I had my powerful essential oils as
Yeah.
well. But anyway, I got a call from the daughter-in-law to tell me that her mother-in-law was walking.
Oh,
Yes,
wow. That
yes,
is so amazing.
yes, yes.
Oh.
And some of that it too is contributed to there's thousands of nerve endings in the feet.
Mhm.
Yes. So
Okay.
when we're working those points with our finger and thumb,
Yeah.
you're stimulating all that circulation. And then I was even going up the leg, and then I
Yeah.
have my oils,
Yes.
with it. And just sometimes that attention can help people take
Yeah.
a long way. That attention to that part of their body that they don't focus on or don't think about or can't reach. Um,
Mhm.
so yes, that was like a, a huge story for me.
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a major accomplishment,
Yes.
to
Yeah.
have her walking again and feeling good. And
Hmm.
so that makes me wonder about, yeah, isn't that excellent? Kimmy said that is so excellent. Yeah. Um, have you ever, I wonder, does reflexology help women with varicose veins? That's what came to mind when you said you were working up her legs and stuff.
Okay. Do you know? I don't recall
Okay.
anyone in particular with me working on their for that particular
Okay.
area. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. It just made, for some reason, varicose veins popped into my mind when you said you started on her legs too.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
yeah, that is so interesting though. That the reflexology can get a person from, having trouble walking to getting back to all of that. Can you explain to people what some of the things, or what can be accomplished with reflexology? Like, why should that? Why would people? Why would you, give advice for people to try reflexology?
Okay. I have this little prop here,
Okay.
and I don't know if you can see the
Yeah.
little things. So this is the big toe over
Okay.
here, and you have the brain inside. The tip of the toes are the sinuses, and
Mhm.
then the liver and heart is it's all in there.
Mhm.
So we have reflexes that represent our body parts and organs in our feet, but not just our feet, our hands
Mhm.
and our ears. And guess what?
Uh-huh.
Our face too.
Oh wow.
So there's different areas um, that, so as the reflexologist is going throughout your feet, I'm just going to pick on the feet
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the finger and thumb.
Okay.
If there's a sensitivity in a particular area, let's just say the big toe, then
Yeah.
that may represent an issue in that person's head, the big toe.
Mm.
Um, but we do not diagnose
Mhm.
because there could be several things going on that we don't know about. For example, it could be a headache from dehydration or a
Mhm.
headache from eating the wrong thing, or it could be
Mhm.
something much more serious. Um, so we don't diagnose, but we just bring reflexology is a stress reliever.
Okay.
Reflexology can help with constipation, digestion issues.
Mhm.
Um, it can help with a multitude of headaches.
Mhm.
A lot of times there may be stagnation in particular areas. So as we're moving that stagnation, and some people may call it chi or kai.
Yeah.
So
I
as
heard
we're
that.
moving things, then that's going to release some things. You know, that's going to release um, stress. It's going to
Yeah.
release stress um, because we're doing all that. That's why when you take a nice warm foot bath,
Yeah.
it feels so good because you're comforting those nerve endings in the feet.
Mm.
So I challenge all of you on the call to take a nice warm foot bath tonight. Okay. And I also give you some more tips before we get off. But so that's where, did I answer your question? Let me see.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has a lot of different benefits. And
Mhm.
sometimes you may have to go more than one time to get what you're looking for.
Mhm.
But like I said, we do not diagnose. And what's so wonderful about reflexology, it can be used in conjunction with the medical system. What
Mhm.
I mean is, it's not going to contradict anything um, with with the medical. If someone is under a doctor's care, it
Mhm.
should not go against that in any kind of way.
That's good. And I'm glad that you brought that up because I do have to put a disclaimer in the description. And also, I'll just state it, because YouTube is very sensitive about people who, make medical claims or anything like that. So, just as a disclaimer, what's safe is that, hey, this is for entertainment purposes, and, we're not claiming to be doctors or anything of that nature, but just, sharing personal experiences and how they've helped others and how they may can help you. So, wow, she's a wealth of information, guys. Hopefully anyone who sees this, in the future, if you have any questions, I'm sure, there will be times where she can come back and look at the comments and maybe answer any questions. But most importantly, check her out. Check out her website. I'll be putting all that information on here.
Mhm.
And anyone who, may be local to her, I'm sure she has services that you may be interested in. um, but getting back to just like what you were saying with all of that, do you have any recommendations for people who may want to do things at home in addition to maybe like a foot soak or anything? Any products or anything that you suggest people rub on their feet?
Yes. So, say if they're having problems going to sleep,
Okay.
they can take either sesame oil or coconut oil and warm that up. You can warm it up on your stove.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if you have a calming oil such as lavender, chamomile, or black spruce,
Mm-hmm.
so you have the warm coconut oil, then you put the couple drops
Yeah.
of the calming oil, essential oil, and then rub your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this should help you go to sleep, because whatever you put on your body, it gets into your body. It gets in whatever you put on your skin, it gets into your system.
Okay.
So that warming coconut oil, and then
Yeah.
you have the essential oil, that is going to be a game changer. And if you want to put on socks, you can.
Okay.
And then don't forget to not sleep on that healing music, sleep music.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
put it outside of your room or whatever, so the electronics won't bother you. But yeah, that should help.
Mm.
And then this area here,
Okay.
okay, so this area, that is a good area to, if you're having stress, you're
Okay.
loosening that area up. And it's good for a lot of things, but primarily you can relieve a lot of stress and
Mm.
unloosen that area. Loosen,
Okay.
yes. Mhm.
It's funny because I find myself sometimes because I drive Uber and Lyft sometimes, and some days when I'm putting like lotion on,
Mhm.
I find myself rubbing areas similar to that because of just holding the wheel,
Mhm.
and I get a little sore, and now I know why it feels really good when I hit
Mhm.
that area.
Yes. Yes.
Apparently, it's relieving stress. So
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
It is so interesting how we are intuitively guided to do things, and we may not even know why. I remember growing up, there was a elderly lady
hmm
that lived with her daughter and grandchildren, Mrs. Cash, and she would hum. She would
okay,
hum, like.
yeah,
But anyway, more recently, I found that when we're humming, we're massaging our insides, internal. And if some of our culture
yeah,
would hum a lot, you
yeah.
know? And so I just found it just so interesting
That is,
about how we're divinely guided to do things to bring us comfort. And we may not know why or where it come from, but
yeah.
we're doing it. And so, yes, that's
Oh,
what I
I love that. That
got.
is so interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. It does. It does bring us a sense of. It's almost like an internal massage, huh? When you're
Yeah. Yeah.
feeling that voice vibration go through your body.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's just really, really. And I'm like, and I just remembered her. She was such a kind lady, but
Yeah,
she was always humming.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that usually brings comfort when you think of that, like my grandmother doing it or my mom doing it in times
Yes.
past. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Wow. Well, this is such an interesting discussion. Do you suggest any like particular oils that people should keep in the home, like just some standard things?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, I would say lavender is one,
Yeah.
because it helps with like skin issues if you get a burn or something like that, and you can use it with a multitude of different things.
hmm
And then peppermint
hmm
is another one for like headaches or digestion issues. Or you
Okay.
could put well, depending on the quality of essential oil, you could put it in your water. um,
Yeah.
mhm. And those are two good ones, but I do have some personal ones that I love. Frankincense
Mm. Yeah.
and So yeah, those two. But I'm
Oh.
gonna go back to sleep because that's kind of
Mhm.
what I'm focusing on this month.
Mhm.
And you can make some very powerful drinks at
Mhm.
night.
Oh,
Mhm.
maybe I need to try some.
Yes, like so you take a plant-based milk, preferably like
Okay.
almond milk or oat milk, and you would
Mhm.
heat that up. And with these, I usually just do my own measurements, like whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So you could put some turmeric, you
Okay.
know, like a dash of turmeric, and then a
Yeah.
little black pepper because that enhances its benefits, for the lack of a better word that I'm thinking about.
Mhm.
It enhances the turmeric. Um, and then cinnamon.
Okay.
Cinnamon is very powerful. Yes,
Okay.
yep. But there is some basics that you could try, and they're called golden milk. Some of them are more fancier, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But those type of things you could try that as well. Um,
Okay.
mhm.
You had mentioned the oil earlier that I had never heard of. I think was it? It was one of the wood oils. Was it a cypress or was it a? Let me think. What's some of the other?
I didn't mention black spruce, but I love
Yeah,
black spruce. I
that's
did.
what you said. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
never heard of black spruce before.
Oh, it is so amazing. I love
Okay.
it, and it's a grounding essential oil.
Ooh, okay. I'm
And
gonna have to try and get my hands on some of that.
I got it. I
You
will.
do? Oh, so tell us. So you have oils that people can purchase?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, on your website?
It can, well, you would go through me because you would get like 25. I want to make sure that people get the $25 off of
Okay,
anything that they purchase,
gotcha.
and then for that time, so you to make sure of that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, we're gonna put your information out there then, because
Okay.
people need to. They'll definitely want to purchase after hearing some of this information.
Yeah, black spruce is amazing. And I'll tell you, cedarwood, I love cedarwood.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful little
Mhm.
essential oil. It's in the ancient scripture. It's a biblical oil, cedarwood and
Okay.
frankincense, myrrh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
See, that says a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. And wow. And when you look at it like that, you can really see how these oils can have such a, healing such healing powers.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. Um, and so you can also do self reflexology on yourself.
Okay.
Yes. And of course, it's not going to be as good as a reflexologist,
Right.
but you can still um, let your feet know that you're
Yeah.
there. And you can also give yourself, like you did on your Instagram with the
Yeah.
ears. The
Yeah.
the ears have reflexes as well.
Okay.
And that will be very beneficial too, to even just massage your ears. You may not know where the different points are, but just
Hmm.
massage your ears, stimulate. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I noticed that it was very relaxing when I did it. And I was like, wow, I guess I'm hitting all those pressure points.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of like made this soothing calm come over me.
Yes. 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 Yep. Yep. It's
Yeah.
really good. So even tonight, if you choose, massage
Okay.
your ears, guys,
Yeah.
and that'll be awesome.
That sounds good. Yeah, I remember when I first got involved with like the essential oils and learning a little bit. That was so I had mentioned before we got on here, I was telling Salisa that my dad introduced us to reflexology when I was probably a teenager. One of his best friends was also a reflexologist like Salisa. And so he would do things, and he would rub mom's feet with certain oils, and he even rubbed our feet, me and my two brothers. So I really didn't think much of it then, right? But once I started having my own children and they had asthma, that's when I started learning about essential oils. And I remembered reflexology because the essential oils they were talking about, using them on the reflex points. So one of the things that was really noteworthy to me, Salisa, was that in in that I guess I had like a book that came along with the oils. And in the book, it was talking about rubbing the oils along the spine. Have you ever done that?
Yes. Oh boy. And I'll have to tell you a story about that. Was it
Yeah.
called raindrop therapy? Do you remember the
It
name of
didn't, no, it didn't have a name. It just, yeah, it was just telling me how to rub it on my kids, on their back.
it? Okay. So if this
Yeah.
is the same one,
Okay.
um, I used to be really big into the oils like many years
Yeah.
ago, and I
Yeah.
would go to conferences. Well,
Okay.
I had a roommate
Okay.
that was in a bad car accident,
Okay.
and she couldn't walk, and her massage therapist would come to her, and she started doing the spine thing
Yeah.
with these oils, and
Yeah.
the oils are very powerful,
Hmm.
and that's why I stress to people that all essential oils are not created equal. And this is not trying to push any particular thing,
Hmm.
but it's just a fact.
Hmm.
And I had went to my esthetician years ago, and
Yeah.
she was trying to do the same thing with people, the same thing. And I saw what she was using, and I was really upset
Okay.
because I knew that people were not going to get the same effect. Some of
Hmm.
these essential oils have chemicals,
Hmm.
just not pure, straight up essential oils. Some
Right.
of them are, just watered down with just different things. And
Hmm.
so I was like, but I felt like at the time, I felt like it wasn't my place. I still feel like it kind of, you don't want, but I knew that she wasn't using high quality for people
Yeah.
with that effect because these oils were serious, the
Hmm.
oils that was going down the spine
Right.
straighten this lady out. She was there. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
told me what happened. And that her massage therapist came, and because of the spine with those little nerve endings, and it was 12 of them that they were putting down,
Okay.
ones, and it was like in a certain order,
Yeah.
and it brought her back up
Oh,
straight.
wow.
And it was because of that, the purity and the strongness of those oils, it'll do it. And
Okay.
there are some oils that are kind of equal, but a lot of them are not of the
Yeah.
same quality. And it's just like with food.
Yeah.
It's just like with even meats. Some
Mhm.
of them they feed the hog everything. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Some of them, they may want to feed their calf. Trying to be a little particular. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing with everything. Actually, all things ain't
Mhm.
like created equal.
Right.
Even humans, I don't mean to say the wrong thing, but some
Uh-huh.
of us are very particular about where we go,
Yes.
who we're associating with,
Mhm.
and what we're doing. And
Yeah.
some of us don't care.
Right. Right.
It will show in the output. Your fruit is going to show.
Mhm.
So that's the same analogy that I'm trying to use. So I'm not, you know.
Yeah.
So we all, the bottom line is we all have choices, and we need to do our due diligence in research. And
Mhm.
sometimes just because a big name company may have it there doesn't mean that the creators of that product is righteous.
Mhm.
Sometimes we're greedy.
Mhm.
They say we got to put a lot of this out. Look, I don't care
Yeah.
what's going in here. We got to put a lot of it out. It looks good. Look, you know.
Yeah.
Then that company that has more integrity, sometimes they may die out because they're not the popular one, or they're trying
Mhm.
to do things the right way, and it may cost a lot more or something. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
do our due diligence in discovering. But
Mhm.
that that particular thing you're talking about has helped a lot of
Yeah.
people. I'm a witness.
Okay.
Yes, not on my own body, but I've seen
Yeah.
other people.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that it helped my children with, when we were really in the crux of the whole pandemic. So
Yes.
it was really helpful for them. But I can feel you. I know exactly what you mean. I've always noticed that When things are requiring mass production, sometimes they lose their integrity.
Yes.
And yeah, and like I've always been taught to like go to the mom and pop shops,
Mm-hmm.
go where people have things that are still really potent and healthy and good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another reason, you guys, why you'll want to check out Salisa's products and check her out. Um, but yeah, so we got about like 10 more minutes. Anything in particular you think you'd like for people to walk away with?
I would like for them to at least try one thing that resonated with them tonight. There's
Mm,
a multitude of things that can really help, little simple things. And I believe in taking baby steps,
yeah.
if you can, just as long as you get it, you conquer it, and then you come back and get
Mhm.
something else. And then, but so you don't have to have this whole list of things, even if it's just rubbing your feet at night or having your child or someone rub your feet, like my dad had us doing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
now, years later, I'm here to talk about it.
Yeah.
But yes, so have them rub your, and like he must have known intuitively
Yeah.
that that was good for him to have his feet rubbed by his daughters.
Yeah.
And so pick something that you can walk away with, that you know that you can do, and it's not going to take you too much out of your comfort zone, and
Mhm.
then you build from that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. I'm gonna treat myself to a foot rub tonight with some of my favorite oils. Do you have any well, I do remember you mentioned like sesame oil and coconut oil and things, but what would you say are your carrier oils of preference? Were those something that you use as carrier oils?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love, have you heard of Ayurvedic?
Yes,
Ayurvedic.
I've heard
Okay.
of it, but yeah.
Okay. So I love, and that is like the Indian culture
Mhm.
uses those oils, and I love their principles when it comes to um, spices. You got a lot of spices in there. Like I used to
Mhm.
cut up
Yeah.
an apple and put and boil the apple. Let it simmer
Oh.
actually, and then
Mhm.
put you can put clove,
Mhm.
you can put fennel and
Yeah.
cinnamon or any spice that resonates, and it is so amazing and healing for you. And that apple is a sweetener,
Okay.
but you're getting those spices in
Yeah.
your system, and they have or cardamom. Cardamom is a good spice too. All of them.
Yeah.
You start doing that. Those little spices. Actually,
Uh-huh.
I will be coming out with a sleep box
Okay.
really soon. That's underway.
Yeah.
And because I love lattes and things like that. But a
Okay.
lot of things come from the Ayurvedic with me.
Okay.
Yeah, like the sesame oil and the
Yeah.
coconut oil, and spices because I love spices.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want to say, to play with your spices
Okay.
for healing.
Right.
And don't forget your feet, and don't sleep on the music.
Don't
Don't sleep
sleep
on
on the music.
that. Could be a song, can't it?
Yes. And I think you should make a t-shirt with that slogan.
Oh, I love that. I love, you know what? You're gonna see me with that. Yes, don't
Yeah.
sleep on the music.
Yes. It's
Don't.
always nice to have like little shirts or little tote bags and things of that nature when
Yes.
you have services like this. And
Yes.
it reminds people, oh, I got to make another appointment. So,
What's your favorite music as far as your song? Do you have a favorite?
you know what? It's so interesting that you say that because I do something called energy healing. I'm an
Mhm.
energy healing practitioner, and I have not regularly used music. I need to get into it, and I also have been advised to do like guided meditations on this YouTube channel, with the Hertz music. in the
Yeah.
background. And I did it a few times, but I didn't stick with it. But I do like a lot of meditative music. I do. And sometimes I'll put it on my Amazon Music and just listen to it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. But
Right.
other than that, as far as like yeah, working with people and stuff,
Mhm.
I just kind of, and I notice you too, like you have the kind of voice that's soothing.
Okay.
You do. And I think that like that's probably one of the reasons why I hadn't used it, because people were telling me to use my voice. As a matter of fact, when my mom also, a lot of similarities. That's why I got so emotional when you were talking about your mom. But like when my mom was in rehab, in the rehabilitation hospital, in some of her last days, I would read to her. She would ask me to read the Bible to her. So I would read the Bible to her. And I think I have a video of us. And I was saying, Mom, you're asleep. You asked me to read and you were to sleep. And she said, and this was the first time I ever heard it. She said, July, your voice is so soothing. And I had never, no one had ever told me that. And so it just stuck with me, you know?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so yeah, I was doing little things for her too, just like you were for your mom.
Mhm.
But yeah, I need to get into that more. I feel like maybe that's, me being led by our creator to
Mhm.
get back to that advice I had heard before, use the music.
Mhm. And I
Yeah.
use it really as a background. They may not
Yeah.
even notice it, but it could be
Mhm.
very light. It's very light in the
Yeah.
background. They don't even know, but I'm
Yeah.
everything I want to do to support them in their
Yes.
healing. So it's very light in the background. But I know it's specifically for that issue that they
Yeah, because I know that even though, like you're saying, they may not notice it, but their body is still feeling the vibrations. That
Mhm.
type of music plays you like a fiddle.
Yes,
So it's
yes,
literally causing the vibrations within you to match the vibration of the music. And that's why it's so soothing. It just feels so
yes,
good.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kimmy Hammond, she's putting the little hearts up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So we got about 3 minutes. Oh my gosh, this has been so beautiful, Salisa. You're
thank
such a
you.
beautiful, beautiful soul inside
Thank
and
you.
out. I
Thank
am so grateful that you did this with me today.
I am so grateful too. I'm so
Yeah.
grateful. And I want to advise everyone to check out her YouTube. It's amazing and very good information to
I
walk with you
appreciate
on your wellness journey. Yeah. Hmm.
it. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to do it again sometime, or if you ever have any information that you'd like to share, or if you just feel the urge, let me know. We can do it anytime. I love doing little collaborations with people.
Okay.
It's so fun.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
So it's been so lovely meeting you, and you guys tune in. Probably by tomorrow I'll have all of the other things that need to be listed here in this video in the description.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll put your information in there if you don't mind, so people will know how to contact you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay.
So thanks everyone for joining us, and stick around. You never know if we might do another video again, but we'll definitely put some information out there if so. But until then, we love you guys. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks, everyone. Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, all right. And in the broadcast.